All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Free Daily Coaching. Good morning and welcome. We had a little glitch this morning. We had a fun kids video yesterday up for President's Day, taking the day off and having a holiday. And I forgot that was on automation. So when that happens, it automatically replays until you turn it off. So sorry about, good morning. Sorry about the glitch. With that, so good morning and welcome for those that are here live. Good morning and welcome to each and every one of you. I'm glad to see that you're here. So this morning we titled our webinar, Glitches, Ghosts, and Oddities, simply because when you're working online, we want to really talk about some of the obstacles that will actually occur as you're building online and some of the things that happen. And so the reason we called it Glitches, Ghosts, and Oddities are for the little tiny things that happen. So last week we did a special episode or a few episodes just specifically on goal setting. And then for our Friends of FDC, which is our private coaching, we did a specific training just on that to wrap it all up and kind of neatly bundle it. And so the idea was to finish that up, and that was going to then become our first affiliate product for the Friends of FTC. And when we went to go and film it, there was some technical glitches, right? And there's too much editing. So we realized that, okay, well, we're going to have to refilm it. So that was one of the projects that we were scheduled to accomplish over the weekend, right? Finish up that goal. So the reason I wrote Glitches, Ghosts, and Oddities are because you have all of these freak things that will seem to happen, especially when you're in the middle of working on projects. So you'll be working on a project and everything will be going fine. And then all of a sudden you'll get a glitch, or all of a sudden there's some weird oddity in the mix, or some kind of ghost phantom thing that happens. Well, you have to be able to prepare for that and to keep moving forward. So in our example, we were building out the Friends of Free Daily Coaching site and getting that prepared and finishing that off. In addition, building the new affiliate products as part of that. And then as we were moving at the end of the week, as we're moving from that, we're moving into doing some other projects, right? And here specifically, we're doing some ranch projects that my wife is working on. And so as we started to, finish these projects and add these other projects, we started to have some glitches. So for example, when we installed all the cameras, we installed an extra network into our home computer network. Well, when we did that, I messed things up for a bit. So then the entire network in the house was off. So you could sometimes get on the computer, sometimes not. Sometimes you could get on it in the garage and sometimes here. And so everything was kind of jumbled around. So now we think we have that under control and we're able to access all of the cameras. And so the original, my original idea was to just do this. As many of you guys know, I'm always looking for the quick, easy solution, right? So we're mostly looking for the low cost or no cost solutions to get started, and then you can scale everything up, right? That's the beginning. Hey, let's try no cost, low cost solutions. So you're not putting yourself in a lot of financial risk, right? Or jeopardy. And then let's go out and learn some basic skill sets. And from there, let's scale up. Okay. So that's the idea that I've kind of used for everything. So in this web hosting, the idea was that we would get the DVR and the cameras, and then we would record it, right? Have the recordings, and then we could then on the membership site broadcast the recordings. And so instead of it being live, it would just be a little bit behind, right? Like maybe 6 hours or 12 hours. Well, I thought about that, and the more that I thought about that, the more that the semantic, the logistics of it didn't make sense, because what would happen if I'm out of town? then who's going to transfer those files, right? And if there's no one physically here to do it, that means I have to then create or have someone create a program, a computer program that's going to do all of that for me. So that's a lot more time and energy, right? That's going to be involved in this. So in looking at some different options, what I did was, instead of just looking, so I want to show you guys this. These are the, where it talks about glitches, ghosts, and these are some of the oddities where you go and look something up online. When you go and look up something and you find the answer, what if it's not the answer? And let me show you what I mean. So I'm over here and I'm looking up on Google live stream video. Okay. When I do that, one of the biggest things that comes up is this Ustream. So this is the future of this video. It's online video, and it's a streaming video platform. Okay. And so it's so that you can broadcast video all over. Well, the very first plan starts at like $100 to $1,000. Okay. And that's just the very beginner price, right? So, and this is like one of the major guys. So if I go back, I can look, there's some other places besides Ustream, some other big companies. And so I'm like, okay, live stream. Okay. So I'm like, okay, maybe. And then it started, showing me like Google Hangouts and Join Me's and all that. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm looking up the wrong thing. So then I typed in web camera hosting and web camera services. And then I found a bunch of places like this Brown Rice. It's right out of New Mexico, $25 a month. They start for live hosting, and they're hosting things like this, like the ski cams over in Taos. So you can see this is a live cam over in Taos. Is what it's like, probably like 8:15 there. So it's about 15 minutes. So this guy's just skiing down. So it's saying the chairlift is open. It's 8:15 in the morning. So you can see that, right? Booyah. So it's just fun because you can, and on this specific one, so you get control. So that, like, now I can go and I can control the camera and I can pick, right? And it gives you, and these ones, maybe they don't have it set up. It doesn't look like they have the other ones set up, but you can actually have an option where you can control which cameras you want to watch, and you have so much, you have so much time for control, and then everyone is in like a everyone's in a queue. So kind of fun that you get to go over and you can check out the different cameras. So you can see that their plans are like, you get up to 5 terabytes with them for $100. So I'm going to make some phone calls today and figure out what we can do to get the cameras online, because the no cost solution that I wanted, right? The no cost solution that I wanted in time effort is going to take me more time than it would be worth it to just go and pay for it. So at $25 a month, right? I could go for like 4 or 5 months for the amount of time it would take me to do the research and figure everything out to get it hooked up for free, right? I could just spend the $100 and have 4 months of service of hosting. So I'm going to call them today and get that part worked out. I will show you guys that we did. Oh, I could do it right here. Hold on. This will be even more fun. So another way that we can do this, and I thought of this, was getting another computer and just putting it out in the barn and having it run the software all the time, and then having people log in and remotely. And I thought of that as the access point, except the only problem with that is that then everyone would have access to the to my files on that computer. And I don't know that I necessarily want to do that. So all right, so here we go. So let me do a screen share here, and you'll see Jess is out doing some stuff with the animals now. She's about to go on a walk. So let me know in the chat if you guys can see that. Whoops. Let me know in the chat if you guys can see this big screen deal right here. So you can see that we have 4 different cameras set up right here. Here's the baby bunny cam. You can see the little babies are in their little silver box, and there's some food when they come out. I saw last night the mom jumped in here and fed them. So that's the baby bunny cam. Let me go back to the 4 view. Okay, perfect. And then here's whoops, I went back to channel 4 again. Hold on. Here is channel 2. Here, we'll start with channel 1. So here's channel 1. That's where ham or pork chop is down there. You can see, ham hock and pork chop are down there playing around. You can see them running around. And then if we go to channel 2, you can see the pigs. There's Feta and Ginger over there. And then channel 3, we put up a little banner ad. Oh, you can see the goats just came inside. So that's fun. We turned into channel 3 and they came inside to eat. And then you can see Mr. Flops and Beast, our bunnies, 2 of the bunnies right there. And we put up an ad for DianeHockman.com, right? That was just fun that we put up a little thing to see if we could put banners. And then we can go over into the babies area. So pretty neat that we can do that. And that's it. We can now see all of the animals. So now we could, now we go back to the main view, and we'll just go back to the 4 view. So that's it. You can see all 4 animals. So we can see all of the cameras. So that was the idea, is that we wanted to make it available so that everyone could watch all 4 cameras. Because when you're watching over here and you can see the pigs jumping around, and you can see when the goats come out and play in their area, and then we're gonna make some more toys and some more fun stuff. So this will stop the live view. Yes. All right. So as you can see, getting the cameras wired up and doing that stuff was wasn't very difficult. It was time consuming and there was some labor involved, but that part wasn't the hard part. It's usually always the technical part. And this is something that I want to touch on this morning is, did I get, and this happens, this can happen often where you'll set a goal and you'll even have your list of required actions, and sometimes there will be an obstacle in your path that requires time to be able to get the solution. And so I want you to recognize that and persevere through that. So I set a goal for myself. I wanted to get a specific amount of work and a specific amount of tasks accomplished. And so I was doing great. And we saw this with Dale as well last week in our goal setting session, except for we saw it on the opposite end. It took a little while for Dale to get some momentum, but once she's got the momentum, she started really taking off and being able to get some results. Where in this model, we were going and we were getting results and everything was moving fine. And then we caught a snag, and it was a bigger snag than we thought, right? Than we thought we would hit in the hooking up of the cameras. And so what happens is, when that happens, is everything gets pushed back, right? Boom, 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 boom. So when that happens, and this is what I would encourage you to do, when that happens, what I would say is stop just for a moment, and not even stop, just slow down for a moment and reascertain, right? Reassess what it is that what goal it is that you're trying to accomplish, and what is the list of required actions from this point moving forward. Now that you hit an obstacle or a challenge, now that you've found the obstacle or the challenge, right? Now that you found the solution to that, now what is that new list of required actions? What does that look like? And so because we hit some snags over the weekend, right? Wanting to finish up some work that we were doing with our friends of FDC, and then literally roll right into this project because we had already been working on some of this project earlier in the week. Hitting those snags, it literally requires that refocusing, being able to stop for a moment and go, oh, okay, hold on. What's the new list of required actions? And so at the very minimum, what we were able to do was we were able to get the entire system up everything plugged in. We were able to get access to it via our computers, and then we were able to get now access to it on our cameras or on our phones as well. So earlier we had done some screenshots with this, but what happened is we were here at home, so we're in the network and everything was working fine when we were here. But then when we would leave, like, and we were in cell service, it wasn't functioning. So I'm literally going in. Let me see if I can show you guys. So you can see that my Wi-Fi is on right now. It's on a network, and this network right here. So I'm just going to go in and turn Wi-Fi off. So now you can see my Wi-Fi is off, right? And so now I'm just in LTE. And so now I can go back. And this was, you know, it took us a while to get everything set up because we set up a different system and extra routers. So then now I just switched it. So I have 2 access points and I switched it over. So now I'm on my phone and I can also have access via the telephone there as well. So you guys can see that we have, and it's live, right? The animals moving down there and there. So the first, you know, that was a big obstacle because we went out and we took okay, so what we did was we got these cameras, for some security, also for some mental reassurance for Jessica when we're out and about, and it's an easy way to check in on the animals. But we also did it as a move in Jessica's business and what she's doing with the animals and here on the ranch, so that we could give access to other people, right? And so we did something that, and normally in my business model, what I would do is I would like make an offer and set an offer on the table before we even had gotten the equipment. To like start the funding, and Jessica we just opted on a different model in this specific instance, and because we wanted the cameras either way, we were going to have the camera set up. So we went and took the jump and went out and spent the money and put the money out there up front, right? And then we're going to get it set up. And so when you do something like that, there's a motivator there to be able to get things going, right? Because you just spent some money. So now you want to be able to recoup that money. You want to be able to make your money back, or at least if it's not a monetary trade-off and you're not trying to make your money back, at least you're getting the value out of the dollars that you spent, right? So if all it was that we just had access to the cameras, would it be the money well spent, and would everything be great? Yes. However, that wasn't the original goal. The original goal was that one step further, so that all of those expenses and everything could be recouped, and this could actually be, you know, a positive cash flow experience. So you're going to find glitches, ghosts, and oddities along the way. And as you do, I would encourage you to embrace that and say, okay, listen, the times that you don't achieve everything on the first attempt those are not necessarily failures. Those are learning experiences. Those are opportunities for you to say, okay, on the next endeavor that's similar to this, I'm going to allot for a little bit of extra time for obstacles or challenges. I'm going to now know that if I'm doing something, you know, outside, it may take an extra 2 hours, or if I'm working on a specific funnel, I may need to do X, Y, and Z. If I'm working with video, depending on, you know, the internet that day, I may need an extra amount of time to be able to upload videos. So these are the types of glitches and ghosts and little weird oddities that are going to occur and that you're going to need to account for and then reconcile. And the way to reconcile the either incongruency that you're having or the time factor, because what happens is we get out of sync, right? Because we get behind. The only way to like rectify that incongruency or to adjust for that is to simply sit back down and create that new list of required actions, right? That new Laura. And so I want to give you guys an example. So yesterday my wife and I, Jessica and I, were talking, and I was like, man, we got to get this thing up. What's our, and I was thinking about everything that, right, all of these things that needed to occur, but I wasn't taking my own advice in this specific area. And so we recognized, right, Jessica really recognized, hey, we need to create another Laura, right? That's simply what needs to occur. So we literally, she just wrote off a new Laura of what needed to occur: turning off the timestamp, accessing that second router, downloading a codec, right, and then going and finishing the rest of what we needed to finish yesterday. And so we really got most of this done. Like literally, one of the things on the list was create an automatic macro, right, so that we didn't have to go out and do the file transfer every day. And I was like, man, there has to be a better way than that. There's a better way to do this, right? And I was like, okay, well, instead of Ustream or doing it on a Google Hangout, what about the companies, right? This is what I just thought outside of the box. What about the companies like a ski resort that has the camera going all the time? There's got to be a company that does something just like that. Where could I get that, right? And so then I just went and started looking up a little bit different search term, right? Instead of live stream video, I looked up webcam hosting, and all of a sudden I got a whole different result, right? A whole different set of results. And really it's the same thing, but I'm using different terminology. So that little glitch, that oddity, lent me to a way better answer. And so what I'm doing here is showing that it's okay to not always attain your goals. It's okay to not always hit the mark exactly, because in doing that, we learn and we grow and we develop a system to be able to make further moves as we move forward. Now, I would like everyone to know that I am by the end of today, and let me say at the latest tomorrow, everything will be caught up. So everything on my end that I've said that I'll give to you guys will be caught up. We'll have the rest of the free daily coaching completed. If we go to, I haven't set over the domain yet, because I want to make sure the new site is totally up. And so let me do a quick share. And we added in, so today we'll just add in the little finishing touches, the visuals, but we add in all of the modules. So if you go over to the new membership site that you guys, that you have, then you get access to, then you should see this. So you'll see the current playlist for our current free daily coaching. You'll see the Friends of Free Daily Coaching original. So we'll change up the page a little bit so that people will see the different access as well. But you guys all have access to the all of the members of FDC have access, and then all the reboots are there too. So the new reboot episodes as well as the olds, and then just later this week we'll make sure that you have access to all of the affiliate area, that page and the download page. All that will be completed off, and that first product from last week's recut will be there as well. So glitches, ghosts, and oddities, are they going to come about? Yeah, absolutely. Are things going to get in your way and not allow you sometimes to achieve the goal that you originally set? Absolutely. What do? We simply move to the side. We simply shift just a little bit again, right? To change that list of required actions that's necessary to accomplish our goal. And it's just that simple. Now, is it frustrating? Is it challenging? Sometimes does it wear down on your patience? Sometimes when you think you're just about done and then something happens. Like literally yesterday we had everything hooked up, we thought, and I got the access to the barn computer so that we could do it from our phones. And then literally like 2 minutes later, it wasn't working with my Wi-Fi. So then my whole Wi-Fi network was down. And so things like that, they're frustrating, right? They start to wear you down. You're like, oh my gosh, how can I do this? I don't even have Wi-Fi now. Right now it's broken. And what it takes is just simply having that list of required actions and saying, hey, I'm working towards a specific goal, and I'm going to take the steps required to get to that goal. And once that goal is achieved, then boom, we've done it. That's it. And sometimes what we have to do when there's a challenge, when there's an obstacle, is we have to reevaluate. We have to look and say, okay, what is it that we're going to do? And in this case, in this goal, I had to reevaluate and say, what's the time and effort worth to finding a different solution? Is there another solution that could be just as good or better and would use even less time or less money? And if so, how could I implement that into my list of required actions? So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing here on Free Daily Coaching this week. And this week's episodes, because yesterday was a President's Day holiday and I noticed that everyone was like, what is the video? What's going on? I would like to remind everyone that this is free daily coaching that we do each and every day. It's absolutely free. We do this, and I host this call every morning to be able to simply share the experiences that I'm having in growing my business with each and every one of our viewers. So this week we thought, hey, let's have kind of a fun week. Last week we were really serious on goals and setting our goals. And what we want to do is break it up a little bit. So this week, since we did a little cartoon video yesterday, today we talked about glitches, ghosts, and oddities. And tomorrow and Thursday, again, we're going to talk about the obstacles, the challenges, and the kind of the quirky little weird things that happen online, but the solutions that you can use to get around those things. So that's what we're going to talk about this week. And then on Friday, we're going to get back to the regular. We're going to have a featured friend of FTC, Chris Schaus, in the house. We'll be doing another great interview. So you'll definitely want to be there for that. So thank you all for joining us this morning here on Free Daily Coaching. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching one of the replays over at freedailycoaching.com, you can simply go to, and if you're watching the replay on YouTube, you can visit us at freedailycoaching.com. Over on the right-hand side of the page, you'll see an icon or a registration form that you can click on to register so that you can have the registration and you can come and attend live here at Free Daily Coaching. As well, you'll get updates and announcements about the fun activities and events that we're attending and holding. So thank you again for joining us this morning. I want to say good morning and thank you for stopping by to Craig and Mario, Judy, Clive, Leanne, Steve, Chris, Ollie, Tina, Sam, Tom, Sarah, Patty, and William. Thank you guys for being here this morning, and all of you out there on YouTube, thanks for joining us. We'll see you the next time.